So I'm excited to say that this episode is brought to you by SMP Inc., a business right here in Las Vegas. Let them regain your confidence. But, it's crazy for me. I got a tap on the shoulder one day at the gym, and it's a new friend of mine named John Orlando. He owns this place, Sticky Paw Studios, right here in Las Vegas. And he has a podcast called Action Junkies. And he said, hey, man, I think you need your own podcast. And without question, I said, I know what I want to do, but it has to be on this level. And if it's not on this level, then I don't want to do it. And I know what it would be. And he said, what is it? And I told him. And he said, you can do this. You can start as early as Monday. My crew is now your crew. My studio is yours. I had no idea he owned this place. It's beautiful, and it gave me an opportunity. And what this podcast is about is jumping at those opportunities, the call to action, believing in yourself and giving yourself that. I just talked to my girl about this in the car, the excitement of new things that get you up every day, almost like an addict trying to kick something. We have to approach the things that we want to do one day at a time. And we're one step closer all the time because we're all the hero of our own stories. We get the call to action, and whether or not we actually do it depends on how we're thinking and our mindset. And if you take that approach that one, you believe in yourself and you answer to that call to action, then you find yourself in that world of that call to adventure. So you step into that world where you have to find mentors and people like that actually help you navigate this new world. And that's what I'm doing now. So my name is Brian Hopkins, and this is a Hero's Journey podcast. Today, I have producer Travis sitting behind. He's the chief nerd of this place. And I don't know if he has a camera on. Do you have a camera on back there?
I don't. I mean, it wasn't filled in. I had to be on the spot.
Oh, no, you better find a way to get that happening. So the chief nerd's running the show today, but I have some friends of mine that I've met along the way, and I want to introduce them to you because when having a conversation about whether or not, the believing in yourself part, oh man, this guy believes in himself. And I love it because he's talented, he's a songwriter, he's creative, and he's created a way and this room and this space that I was applauding you, dude. So Michael Shapiro is my guest today.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, buddy. How you doing?
I just want to say one thing, though.
Yeah.
There's no camera on Travis, but he is stunningly handsome.
Wait. Now I have the camera now. Ladies and gentlemen.
Suddenly a camera appears.
All right, go back to what were you saying about how handsome I was?
Yeah. Stunningly handsome is what I came up. It's an honor to be here with you, Brian.
Thank you, buddy.
Just hearing you speak and knowing, we don't know each other that well.
Right.
We've shared the stage before, and you're an inspiration. So thank you for having
thank you
us here today.
I appreciate that. But we also have, it was the other night on stage, I'm watching you play, and then you start to share this story about a childhood friend who grew up and the things that you went through. And I went, he's got to come be a part of this show as well, because that's what it's about. We come up together. And so your drummer, sitting right here to my left, Mr. Jack Roth. Yeah. Welcome to the show, man.
Thank you very much. So happy to be here.
Happiest drummer on the planet.
And happy to be here, to be the happiest to be here. No, thank you so much for having us. It's beautiful, beautiful.
Oh, that's it. Thank you for being here. Yeah, this place is awesome. So, it's a crazy thing because I heard you guys grew up here in this town. Is that correct?
It is elementary school. Did you go to Georgie Harris?
Yes.
Yeah, so we both went to elementary school together. And you moved here in what year?
77, the summer.
Okay.
And I remember like it was yesterday, we opened up the car door, Valley Bank, DI in Sand Hill. And that heat hit me. And I was like, we're moving here? I couldn't believe it.
And the hairdryer.
The hairdryer for sure.
Exactly.
But yeah, no, it's home for sure.
We have pictures of Georgie Harris. We did a documentary for Mitch Lunsford or something, and we provided pictures from our second grade, third grade class or something.
Class, and then a couple of middle school bands.
We go way back.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Way back.
Does it go as far back as? I mean, I heard you talking about the mobsters here in town.
Well,
and things like that.
Jack's father, I don't know. Allegedly, he could be into a couple of things, but I don't have any proof of that.
Allegedly, he knows some folks.
Yeah, in my family,
Perhaps.
for sure. My grandfather was, in 1955, he had a hotel here called the Royal Nevada, and he started United Coin, which is now a publicly traded company called United Gaming. He invented and manufactured and operated these slot machines, the first blackjack machine in the world. And he lived next door to Frank Lefty Rosenthal. So I think maybe he dealt with the mob a little bit. I don't know. I can't say.
You're not gonna say. Yeah. You can't have the name Shapiro and not have a little
Affiliated.
Yeah,
Affiliated.
exactly.
That's a good way to say it. Yeah.
So I went the other night. Well, there's two sides to this. I knew you as we shared the stage, but barbershop. We played together. And it was many miles away, right? The band.
Yeah.
So I knew the original side, and then just the other night, I went and saw this show that you put together. Tell us about this. Oh, actually, you know what, too? Travis, my chief nerd, we got a little video of what this is, and then I'll have you talk about it.
Are we naked? What is it?
Everybody finds somebody someplace. Well, there's no telling where love may appear. Something in my heart, I keep saying, my someplace is here. If I had it in.
That's
it.
awesome.
Yeah, a little Dean Martin for you.
So tell me about this. How did this come about?
I've always done original music, and I struggled with it. I've toured all over the world playing music. It's been fantastic, but financially, it's been a struggle. I've never been able to turn it. We talk about the Everly Brothers in the show and how they had 15 number one hits over 5 years, and I've never had one in 35 years. And so I just wanted to make a living playing music, and our booking agent back in, well, I'll start with when I moved to the Bay Area, I formed Reckless in Vegas. The name came from a girlfriend who we woke up next to each other, and she goes, "Oh my God, I just had this dream, and I was in an all-girl band, and I was playing your red Stratocaster, and we were called Reckless in Vegas." And I went, "That's pretty good." Best thing that came out of the relationship. No, not true. And we were doing original stuff. So we put out an original album called, it was self-titled, but it was an EP. It had 5 songs. My neighbor in San Rafael, California, is a man named Dan Shea. He's a producer. He's a Grammy award-winning or nominated producer. He offered to produce this album. He heard the music and wanted to do it. As we started the process, he came to me and said, "Hey, do you know Neil Diamond's Solitary Man?" And I said, "Yeah, I've heard it." He goes, "Learn it on the guitar and get over here." So I learned it. I went over to his house. I played it for him, and he goes, "That's great. Now here's what I'm hearing." And he referenced a Green Day song. I can't remember what song it was, but he said, "You hear that treatment?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "I want to do that to the Neil Diamond song."
Oh, wow.
And that was in 2008, and it fit. He goes, "I've been waiting for a band to produce that had the sound I was looking for, and you guys have it." So that's why we put it on as the 6th song on the album, and it was a hit. It was like the best song in the set when we were out playing. People loved it, and it was the only cover or remake that we did. And then we worked with Sylvia Massey on a second EP in 2011, and then in 2012 is when my booking agent said, "Hey, do a tribute. If you're a tribute act, you guys will make money. You'll go out, I'll book you in all the casinos." And so we learned 50 Johnny Cash songs. We were with Mario Cipollina from Huey Lewis and the News was our
That
bass
makes
player.
a lot of sense. I'm sitting here looking at a rock star from across the room with this voice and the Elvis hair and the
Just want to make a
sideburns
living,
and-
man. That's all I want
anyway,
to
that
do.
makes sense. Go ahead.
Yeah. So we started to learn these Johnny Cash songs, dum digga dum digga dum digga dum, and I thought, this will be cool, but it doesn't stimulate my inner artist. And
Right.
you're an original songwriter, so you know that thing. And I thought I could do it for the money, but I shelved the idea after about 2 weeks. We never even really rehearsed it. We just kind of all learned the material. And I was meditating. I was big into meditation. I turned on to it in the Bay Area, and I was doing it daily. And I had my eyes shut, and I'm in this deep trance, and I saw Reckless in Vegas in neon lights, and there was black and white old Vegas movies playing behind me, and there were dancers, and I'm wearing a sharkskin suit. and we're playing our style of rock, power trio, and I'm singing Frank Sinatra. And I come out of this thing and I write everything down and I called Dan. I said, Dan, you remember that thing you did with the Neil Diamond song? He goes, yeah. I go, what do you think about doing that with old Vegas music? He goes, that's great. Get over here. And we studied. We spent about a month and a half just kind of researching all these great acts that played in Vegas in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. And a year later, we put an album out. And
Wow.
It smashed. It was all over the Bay Area. We were just killing. And I knew from the first show we did that we had something, because when in the whole room, I mean, you've had some great original music where you got a great fan base. Everybody knows your music, and when they're singing your lyrics back to you, it's powerful.
It's unreal. There's nothing like it. It's my drug.
It is a drug.
I've never drank or done drugs in my life. I've never done anything. I don't even know what a beer tastes like, and that's my high.
Yeah.
And it's the thing I chase, and because I know where I wrote those songs. I know where I was when that came out of me, and so to have them sing it back and
Powerful.
react, it's unreal. So yeah.
So even though we didn't write these, we did this gig at the famous Sweetwater in Mill Valley, and we were like in the third song, and I think it was Can't Take My Eyes Off You, and of course our version of it, and the whole room started singing. And again, not writing them, the music's original. We wrote the music.
Right.
And the melodies and the lyrics are true to the original versions to pay homage to them. But I knew in that moment that I had something special. And then Seth Shore, who is an owner of the Downtown Grand, saw us play in San Jose. This was in 2014. And he said, I want to bring you to Vegas. And he brought us to Vegas in October of 2014, and we did a 5-week residency at his hotel.
But you grew up here and then moved to the Bay?
I did. So I started to struggle a little bit. Here I had a carpet cleaning company. I was making a bunch of money, and I was playing in a band, and the girls, and I bought a fancy sports car, and just ego, blah, 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 superficial. And I started to mess with drugs again, and I got into cocaine pretty heavily.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it in a matter of 3 years, I was pretty bottomed out. And I could continue to use because I had the money from the businesses. But my music career just went down to nothing. And so my mom called me and said, hey, why don't you get out of Vegas? Vegas is your problem.
Right.
And, me being naive to addiction, and I just thought, oh, that's a great idea. So I moved up to Portland, Oregon, where my mom is.
I'm from Oregon, but go ahead.
Did you know that they have cocaine in strip clubs in Portland? I was shocked. I was totally shocked. I had no idea. So I continued to do the same behavior there. You know what I mean? So, yeah. So that wasn't. So I figured out I was the problem, not the city I was in.
Oh,
yeah.
right.
So I was there for 6 years. We toured. We went out. I formed a band there, and we toured. We were out with Great White during that Rhode Island fire. I don't know if you remember that.
Oh, I do remember that.
Yeah, and so that
Which
was
changed all kinds of rules, the way they do things.
For the
because of
better.
it. Exactly.
Yeah,
What a
yeah.
dangerous night.
It was a tragedy.
Were you there?
Yeah, we were the main support. We shared a bus with Great White.
What?
And I was, still in my addiction, so I handled it in a way of, I was upset that the tour was over and I wasn't on the tour bus anymore. My guitars got burned in the fire. I never once thought about the 65 kids that lost one or both of their parents that night. I never thought about how lucky I was to be alive. I was just angry, and I didn't have the tools to deal with that. My tools were drugs and alcohol.
Wow.
And so I went on a 2-year bender after that, and went to treatment, moved to the Bay Area, and I got clean and sober in the BayArea, and I've been
No
it's
way.
coming up on 16 years now.
Good for you.
Thank you.
All right, brother.
Appreciate that. I'll clap to that too.
No,
Yeah.
amazing.
Thank
That's
you.
I had no idea. This came out of nowhere, man. That's
Yeah,
good for you.
It's it's been a journey, and I love your title, Hero's Journey. Is amazing to me, and
when we talked on the phone, I was like, "Stop talking. We need to talk about this on the show." When I asked you to be on it, so go ahead,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah, so moving to the Bay Area was kind of how this whole thing started, and this particular Reckless in Vegas has enough. Even though these are our interpretations of these great
Right.
songs, they're original enough for me to be stimulated. I'm still doing the original music too, but with Jack, when I moved to Vegas, Jack and I reconnected. He was playing in other bands, and I said, "You'd be great for this. Do you want to do it?" And he stepped right in because Ryan, our original drummer, is still in the Bay Area, and he's still a part of this. But Jack's the Vegas guy.
All right.
He's the guy.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's
least down here.
where we are now. And also with Many Miles Away, Jack was a no-brainer for me to bring in to play drums. So.
Oh, great drummer. I had a lot of fun watching you play it. And I didn't put together that we actually had met before. And we were talking about when you even brought up, the plane thing, and I'm like, wait a minute, we're social media friends. We're friends. You saw that,
It's a whole new era, right?
Yeah,
Like a whole new
exactly.
age.
So, and I apologize, but because I was sitting there watching you play on Friday, was it Friday night, and just thought, wow,
Oh, I
this
appreciate
guy's
that.
really good,
I
and
appreciate
that kit and everything. It was awesome.
The kit's fun. It's like I say to everybody, every now and then I hit the right thing at the right time, so I luck out. But the thing is, to kind of tag on what Mike's saying, these songs are so fun and they're so ingrained in our childhood growing up. Here in Vegas, growing up, you could I'm not even going to put a date on it, but you used to be able to walk through any resort, any of the casinos, and you would see 2, 3, sometimes 4 lounge acts. That's why they call them lounge bands. Because they're in the lounges.
You're old.
You're old. That is way old. And that all went away, especially when they started using tapes and all that stuff. All that stuff went away. But I remember going and seeing guys at the Showboat and walking through, and you see the
amazing players.
And those and they're the guys who used to teach us. Those guys were the guys we were friends with one of the the main musical directors in town. Amazing people who we just thought were our friend's dad ends up being Sinatra's MD. It's things like that you don't take you don't take stock of when you're that age. When you gain a little bit, along the way, it's amazing.
That's who you guys are now, though. Do you understand?
No.
Because honestly, you are. You're those guys now. Because when I kept hearing your name here in town. I've been here 8 years now. Michael Shapiro, and I'm like, I got to meet this guy. And then the one time we meet, it's on stage.
Yeah.
We're doing a show
where it
together.
should be.
Exactly.
Yes,
so
where
we met,
it's safe.
Yeah, we met on stage and had a great time. But, your names were being thrown around as, the go-to guys, the musicians, great guys. So you are that. Now you are that generation's, the people they're turning to learn drums from. I just watched you give Travis tips before we started because he's a wannabe drummer. He's got aspiring.
Yeah.
There
I'll
we
take
go.
aspiring.
Yeah, drummer, and his drum kit's out front, and you're helping him, and that's what it's all about. So
it's all part of it. That's part of the whole thing for sure. No, I do that, kind of all the time, and that's one thing. It's unlike these guys are so talented that I play within the band. Drums, it's a tribal thing. It's something I promise you, it's in everybody. Pretty much everybody can play drums if you really sit and do it. Mike knows I'm the most uncoordinated dude ever. I can't even walk without blowing my ankle out. It's amazing. Those are the only things that I can actually do. So no, it's all part of it. And passing along a lot of that stuff is. It's part of the process. And
we need to inspire other people, and that's what you were doing. I was watching you give that moment. He'll be able to say a year from now, as you're watching you get on the billboards, hey, that guy gave me some tips, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
We talked about that on the phone. A Hero's Journey podcast for me was a way to, I'm always wanting to lift my friends up.
Yeah.
And the people that are doing good things and great things, like the hair standing up in my arms, talking about it right now. I want people to take notice of that. And what you just told me. Dude, you just told me you kicked addiction. There are people out there who are struggling with that right now. I have never drank or never done drugs of any kind because I'm afraid that gene is in me. I'm Native American Indian, and it's something that runs rapid in both sides of my family. So
you had cautionary tales around you.
Exactly. So I chose not to do it.
You're lucky. A lot of people don't get that clarity around it, and they go down the other path. And it's impressive. You should be really proud of yourself for that, man.
It's more impressive that you went through it, and you're on the other side to me. Because this is just my life. I don't think about it. It's not even a second guess.
But why can I not have that second piece of pizza? I'm full, but
that's all of us.
I have one more.
It's a different addiction.
It's addictions everywhere.
Yeah.
It's really about going back to what you're saying about authenticity, right? If we can be our authentic selves, we don't have a need to put up a front and pretend to be something we're not, and have to medicate those feelings, that awkwardness or being uncomfortable or not being good enough, inadequate. insecure. I mean, human beings, we all have this going on.
I've got a ton.
Me too. And,
You know?
I don't know, Jack's pretty perfect. So
Yeah, you're pretty amazing, there, John.
No idea.
but that's,
Travis is pretty perfect too. So we got
and very
that.
handsome, if I must say again, just to reiterate. But if you have that peace and you have some kind of faith in a higher power, if that's instilled at a young age, you have purpose. Less likely that if someone's going to go explore drugs or alcohol, it's what it's going to be. They're going to explore it. They're going to, oh, that was fun, and they're going to go back to their authenticity because they're whole without it. The risk is if we don't have that foundation and we go explore, and the first time we have a drink, we go, oh, I've arrived, and then we never want to go back to that. So this whole thing about taking risks in life and going for it and being our authentic selves, I mean, that's the answer. And I believe that as human beings, we're spiritual beings having a human experience. And we're supposed to have those feelings and those experiences and then be able to talk about them and not from shame or fear. Right. And that's the greatest gift in the world. If I mean, I'm 52 years old and I came into about 36 when I got into recovery this time. It was a journey to find that. But now that I've found that feeling, I'm a hack guitar player. I'm not a phenomenal singer. I just go up and do what I do. And when I make a mistake, does my world crush down? No, I laugh at it. We have fun with that. We're not going for perfection. We're going for progress because we love what we're doing. We have that purpose, and it does not waver. And that's an amazing feeling. And I just hope that kids today can find that and they have some kind of inspirational.
Well, you say kids, but that could be a 52-year-old sitting here listening to this right now, or watching this. They can start today.
Totally.
They can start right now.
Yeah.
And that's, so kids, to anyone, that's what's great about, we're
Never
given
too late.
this one life. When people say, oh, maybe in my next life, how about this one?
Yeah.
How about right now? You can do whatever you want to do as long as you want to put in the work. And that at the top of this conversation, I mentioned that to my girl. My girl is crushing it in her world. And she's like, being around you and the things going on makes me want to be better. Yeah. And I need these other outlets because I need to figure out these other versions of me. And I'm like, wow. That the person closest to me, who I love the most, Nicole, is amazing. She is being inspired by that and being inspired by the people that we're bringing in and we're sitting here talking on the podcast. And your story is inspiring, man. And we kind of went off because the show is fun and it takes that old Vegas with this new thing. And
rock it out.
More people need to see it, know it, be aware of it. And I know you gambled. You went all in on yourself on this one.
Yeah, I felt I didn't want to regret anything, and I've been wanting. I came back to Vegas really. So I was gone a total of 15 years. I really didn't see myself moving back to Vegas. I ended up meeting my beautiful wife, Jolie, who dances in the show, and kind of what you were saying about Nicole. She makes me want to be a better person. I want to be a kinder human. She has that. And then, she's not as risky. Me being an addict, I'm risky. I take risks all the time. And she needs a little more of that. So she says that I bring that out for her.
Nicole and I are the same way.
So you found a partner that you both make, you can argue about who loves each other more. That's the main argument, right?
Yeah.
And who's more grateful. And that's a great partner. And we wish that for anybody who's out looking for love and wants to have a partnership and connection.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's been.
Does Jack have that though?
Jack has an incredible wife. We're once in a while we get her to come to a show. She's a tough cookie though.
But my wife and I, we were together a long time ago, early '90s, in our early 20s, and then went our separate ways for a little bit, and then reconnected later. So she's seen enough of the nonsense back in the day. So she picks and chooses her spot.
There you go.
But it's one of those things where. I'm glad she wasn't there for a lot of that stuff, but I'm so grateful for her in my life now, and it's one of those things, you don't miss that stuff when it's right and when you know you know what home is. You don't miss all that other bullshit. So
you're a lucky bastard.
No,
yeah,
I am. I consider
you're a
myself
lucky bastard
very
too.
Yeah, so you too, man. Yes, you are.
Yeah.
So
3 lucky guys.
So it's at the Sahara.
Yeah, Sahara, which is iconic in itself, right?
Right.
It's one of the last ones standing, really. It's the original Sahara Theater. It's been remodeled, but if you look up in the rafters above us, it's all original. And to stand on that stage where you know that Bobby Darin was there, Liberace was there, Jerry Lewis started his telethon there, Louis Prima.
You walk through the hallways walking in every night, and you see these pictures of 10 feet by 5 feet of Louis Prima in the showroom with the trumpet, with Sinatra on stage in the Copa room,
Sammy
in the
Davis,
Casbah
Frank
Lounge,
Sinatra.
but they're in that property. Like we've said a million times, it doesn't work. The Lincoln, nice enough property, Harrah's, those kind of things. It has to be. It has to be the Sahara or the Riv,
history, exactly,
or the Stardust or the Dunes, and those aren't around anymore. So the kind of last man standing. Which
El
is,
Cortez.
Well,
that's one of the oldest hotels in Las Vegas, downtown, of course. But it's.
But no, the Sahara is perfect. That's the one.
I think there's ghosts in there. You feel it.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? I'm all into that stuff.
Yeah.
That one day I'll get into this on the podcast. There's a lot of things that. I have videos of a lot of stuff around me. I'll show you I'll send you a little video.
You're gonna freak me out. Though.
Yeah, I will.
I believe in it.
There was one day that Nicole needed proof, and 2 days later she's like, "Go away."
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was one of those things.
So-
That's so walking in that place. I've played that stage too. I was there with Joe Nichols.
Nice.
I played that stage. It was awesome. But what a
cool
great
room.
history. Exactly.
Yeah.
Vegas has a lot of history. Like I said, I'm from Oregon, way of Hollywood. From Hollywood to here, it's been 8.5 years now for me. And
Do you miss Oregon?
you know what? That seems like many lifetimes ago. I'm an ex-baseball player. Most people don't know that about
I didn't
me.
know that.
Yeah. So I was an athlete.
What position?
I was a pitcher, and I also played third base in college and first base in high school. And I was hot, like that was my world.
Were you doing music back then too?
Nope.
So the music was after
Music
sports.
was, it's my dad was a singer in a band.
Oh.
My brother was a singer, uncle, cousin. So, and then my Uncle Gary played guitar. And so these backyard family barbecues would always happen. And I even wrote a song about it. Backyard Family Barbecue is like a big song for us, for
Isn't
Elvis
that an
Monroe.
obvious title? I mean, could you have been a little more vague?
I
about
know,
it?
huh? Exactly.
He's the Bruce Springsteen of the world. He writes a very specific.
Yeah, I do.
stories.
Just
Puts it
you
there.
know. But that was my life before all this. I was an actor for a long time.
Did you
and then
hurt yourself playing sports?
I
or you
did.
just- okay.
I
Yeah,
did,
that's
and
common.
so that just like
Yeah. And then you got into acting?
got into acting, and then
Which is cathartic in itself. What a therapy that is.
it is. But the thing about it was I couldn't control what was going on. I would have to go in and audition and play, do these parts and things like that. And I had my acting teachers say, if you want a certain role, go write it. You're a creative person, right? So I'm in the middle of doing that right now with a buddy of mine his name is Scott Hartman. I'm going to have him on here. He teaches a hero's journey in filmmaking because he's at the New York Film Academy.
Cool.
And I'm putting it out there, Scott, so you have to finish this. We're 70 pages into the script, and we're producing this movie. And it's a song I wrote for the movie. And so he finished it. He was working on the script, and he goes, I need a song. Already wrote the song. I already recorded it. And then I'm like, we have to finish this, so I get back into acting.
Have you seen the series The Offer?
Oh, no, but someone just told me about it.
Maybe it was me the other night. I don't know. But,
No, it was a buddy of mine who I had on here.
but I wanted to be the one to tell you. What do you mean, your buddy?
I've never heard this before. Please tell me.
No, but I mean, where you are right now with this, it would be a great time for you to watch it. I get a lot of inspiration from films, and
So do I.
this one will rock your world because The Godfather. It's about the Godfather.
Yeah.
That movie should not have been made. If they go through and you see how many challenges, and it just should not have been made. From the mob to Paramount and to all the BS that goes on in Hollywood, and it'll give a kick you in the pants.
Right.
And if you're feeling a little off, it'll help you finish it because it's what you're doing right now.
I'm right in the middle of it.
Yeah,
I have
watch it.
2 movie projects going. I have a children's book going. The album that I'm trying to finish with Tom Fletcher,
Oh, yeah.
you're a producer,
That's right.
and he's mixing my record right now.
Great producer. Really great.
Your album sounds like a monster. Miles sent me 2 of the cuts off it, and I'm gonna have you guys play before we get done.
We're not going to do any Many Miles Away.
No, but you're gonna do some originals.
Yeah.
But yes, but what I'm saying is, it's a monster of a record, dude.
We're
great
excited
job.
about it. Yeah. Tom has been instrumental in that. And then Miles Shawn. I mean, he's one of the greatest guitar players on the planet. After Ben Carey, of course. But
No, right there, right there.
When you get to a level of that type of musicianship, they're not to be compared, right?
No.
They're great in their own right. And Miles is, I just have never played with anybody like him before. He blows my mind every time we're together.
And his father's iconic too.
Well, Neil
Come
Schon,
on.
yeah, Journey.
Yeah, Journey.
Yeah.
Jeez.
He's a chip off the old block.
You go back and look at some of the late '60s Santana stuff, and
He looks like him.
He looks
just
and
like
his
him.
right hand,
Yeah.
it's freaky. No, incredible for sure.
I was the night we shared the same stage. I was looking at him, going, "Who is this guy?
Yeah.
Like this guy is killing it."
As a lead singer, you're out, and I obviously play rhythm. Do you not do any rhythm guitar?
Not really.
What's going on?
I just picked up the guitar again, and I put it down. When you have a guitar player like Ben
Ben,
Carey,
yeah.
I just stopped because I would sit and write on the guitar, and then I'd have to hand it to him and go, here,
Yeah,
now.
takes
And
it
he's
down.
like, okay, I'm going to take the same damn 4 chords
Yeah.
and turn it into something else because that's where I am.
Mm-hmm.
And I laughed because I just said that to him the other night. It was like, hey, I wrote a brand new chorus. I'm going to give it to you. He goes, let me guess. And I'm like, yep, same chords.
That's all you need.
Same
is
chords.
chords.
Dude, I'm like, mine's 4. Right? Same. But I can write so many melodies over the top of 4.
Which
these
is
4 chords.
brilliant, And Tom Fletcher's a guy that I did my very first. He did my second album in 1999 or 98 is when I met Tom. And Tom, he told me, he says, Michael, he's got that voice. Michael,
Yeah.
listen, you start out playing Yankee Doodle and you strive to learn how to play Mozart. And then the hard part is getting back to Yankee Doodle.
Exactly.
And so simple chords, it enables us to hear the melodies and it takes us on that journey. And I think look at Tom Petty. I mean,
Yeah.
come on. I mean, it's just incredible.
He wanted me to surprise you, and I was going to set up another mic. Tom Fletcher
Oh, yeah.
was going to show
Oh,
up,
I wish
but,
he would-
but he got stuck in the studio, so he's like, "Hey, I can't make it."
He's sleeping.
But he was gonna come
Stuck
down
in the
here.
studio.
Yeah. Well, he's great when you can get him.
Oh, dude, he's amazing. I probably this will be the 4th time I mentioned it. I've been working on mixing the same 5 songs for a year and a half.
They're going to be really good, though,
Dude.
Brian.
I'm like, come on, bro.
Yeah,
he's
it's tough.
amazing,
He's
though.
busy. He's so generous, and he overcommits, and he
Yeah.
wants to work with everybody, and he's so talented, and it'll get done.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know.
it will get done.
But I sit in a room with him when someone asks, "Hey, can you get this done?" I'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
You promised me mine was going to be done tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Like that's where we are.
If he wasn't so good, it would be easy, but he's so good, you just have to tolerate and,
Right.
and go with it, and you will get it done for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Well, you know what? This is a good point. I want you guys to. Would you guys mind playing?
I have no
a
idea
song or
what we're
two?
gonna play,
Yeah,
but,
but still,
I just happen to have a guitar right here.
Oh,
So weird. I didn't know that was.
that was
No idea this-
crazy.
Cajon was right here. It's amazing.
And you got a cajon. What are we gonna do? You want to do? Actually, Can I? How's that sounding? Is that? We good with that?
Chav, does that sound all right?
Sound check good?
Yeah, that does sound good.
Before you come in, from what we're talking about, so a hero's journey really, for me, is that we're so stimulated and distracted on the outside.
Right.
And in this world, it seems like success is really, for a lot of people, including myself at one time, is about money and power and things, materialism. And it's confusing because in this world, one can go out and achieve those things and be miserable inside.
Right.
It's the inside stuff, right? So I want to do just a quick little ditty that is about having everything we need is inside ourselves, so we must look inward for that connection, so then we can give it to other people. And look at everybody likes nice stuff, and we want to be able to go do those things. But if I want to truly be happy, I gotta focus on the inside stuff. And I haven't played this in forever, so I hope I don't screw it up. But it's called Somehow, Some Way. Somehow, some way, and through it all I found my way. been high, I've been low, and now I finally know. Inside of me is all I need. Inside of me is everything I'll ever need. And sometimes I find the hard times keep me down. I've been wrong, I've been right, I nearly lost my mind. Inside of me is all I need. Inside of me is everything I'll ever need. Somewhere it's unfair, I've learned to live with pain. I've been lost, I've been found, I've turned it upside down. Inside of me is all I need. Inside of me is everything I'll ever need. And somehow, some way, and through it all I found my way. Hey man, we never played that together, man. Thanks, buddy. All right.
Yeah.
Should have warmed that old vocal cord up.
Oh, it's all good.
But you know what I mean? So if we look inward, that's where the answers are.
Right.
You know, and it is really easy to forget that. And that's been the key to a lot.
It's important to me to get that message out there that success is in getting to do the thing that you love to do. And as long as you're happy, like when you're happy, you get up every day. We're given a gift.
Yeah.
And for me, I thought about that today for myself that, wow, I'm getting to go do the podcast today. I got my record to finish this week. I've got a couple more. There's a lot
of purpose in your life right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm happy. And that's all we're chasing, each and every one of us. And like you said, you were going from place to place. Like the addiction was still wherever you were until you kicked it.
Yeah.
Until you decided that this is what I'm going to do.
Well, and whatever the coping mechanism is, you know, I mean, it can be sex and food and exercise, workaholism. I mean, we're just kind of an addictive species in general. You know, we're the only species that I'm aware of that will put desires in front of survival. And that happens a lot. And lately I've noticed this immediate gratification thing going on. People, there's no long game anymore. And, you know, we're lucky to have purpose and passions that have I mean, I was in sports too, so I get that. I drove that as well. I played football. But music had always been a part of that. And you know, and I did the business thing and thinking that it was money and the girls and the cars and the VIP this and that. And that's superficial. But this other stuff, like what we're talking about today, is this inside stuff that is sustainable and inspiring to other people. Because when we die, it's not about all the stuff that we have or even the stuff that we did, but it's about how many people did we make a positive difference in their lives.
Exactly. And that's what you're doing today, though, by sharing your story. Hopefully one or two people get inspired by what you've been through, by your music, by the work. This takes work, man. I can't pick up the guitar and sit here and play a full song all the way through. And I'm a songwriter.
Yeah.
You can, and you connected it to my show, which was awesome. And I want you to do another one. If you guys got another one in you, please.
Do you have can you just follow me on this little thing? It's just a little bit of a taste of Reckless. I mean, you know, you saw the show, so it's you know, our amps go to 11. You know, we're rocking out. This is an acoustic guitar, so it's a little bit different. And this could be a total train wreck, but I'm willing to take the risk if you are.
I'm down.
You have no idea what I'm going to do. So what I'm thinking of.
Penn and Teller. None. Do I know? No.
Everybody Loves Somebody. Just follow me on it into because of the Elvis movie that's out, which is amazing, which you haven't seen.
I have to go
Travis,
see
I've
that.
not seen it either. You guys got to see
Travis and I both. I made a promise. Got to go see that movie with my girl.
With Nicole, yeah. So Everybody Loves Somebody into Caught in a Trap. What's that song?
Caught in a trap.
What's that song? Suspicious Minds.
Yep.
Thank you. Into a little bit of Love Me Tender, and then That's Life. Can you do it? You think so? No. You picked it. You've never played Somehow Some Way, and you just laid it down. That's really cool. All right. Okay. So everybody loves somebody sometime. Everybody falls in love somehow. There's something in your kiss just told me my sometime is. We're caught in a trap. I can't walk out because I love you too much, baby. Love me tender, love me true, all my dreams fulfill. For my darling, I love you, and I always. If there's nothing shaky come this year, July. We are in July, right?
Yeah.
Hold on, and if you don't come down to Sahara and see our show live, I'm gonna roll myself up in a big bowl and die. That's all medley.
Thank you.
Oh yeah,
That was awesome.
Yeah, pretty cool. We haven't done Many Miles Away music in quite a while. We did a couple of shows in Salt Lake, and then that show with you with Elvis Monroe.
Yeah.
Which was just so fun.
Oh,
we
my
want to do
gosh.
that again with you
Yeah, we
guys.
need to do that again.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I don't think we've even played anything. I mean, we wrote 2 more songs for the album. The album's finished. We don't know what to do with it. Do you understand the music business today? We're so confused.
Yeah, it's
really good.
Yeah,
we just don't know what to.
It's pretty crazy. Off the air, I can tell you what I'm doing.
Okay.
I had some pretty good luck going on. I can't share the news yet because I want this one to come out real soon, but it'll be sooner than I can.
I think I
talk
might know
about
a little bit of it, but I'm going to honor you and just keep it.
Not below it.
Caught in the trap. It's very exciting, though. What I think.
But I agree with you. It's just such a different world right now. I don't even know the approach, but now, like I said, I have a plan.
Yeah,
And,
well, plan's better than what we have because we're not sure. There is some record label interest in it. We're going to suss that out first before we do anything. But touring is one way to go, but that's been confusing too the last couple of years.
Gas prices are.
Oh,
I just went out on the road with a band. I was out riding with them for the last 12 days.
songwriting.
It was
they brought you
songwriting
out,
for them.
Yeah.
And man, I was watching them fill up the bus, and I was having a heart attack. And I'm serious. Like, what?
Do you
gotta
know?
be kidding me.
I was engaged to a woman named Storm Large, and she was a really powerful singer songwriter, and I hid behind a band a lot, and she said, "You're gonna go out with Rob Winia from Floater. Floater's a band from, maybe you know them from
Oregon.
Yeah,
I toured with them.
Okay, great.
We were under the
great
same
band.
management.
And 19 albums. I mean, long time career.
Pink Floyd-ish type
very
of band.
Pink Floyd. Yeah, and and Pete Cornett was the drummer. He sadly passed away.
What?
Yeah, well, what we were talking about, he couldn't beat his alcoholism, and it killed him. It killed him. What an amazing guy! But Storm goes, "You're going to go out. You're going to take your RV," because we had an RV for the band, and you guys are going to go out and do solo acoustic 3 sets. Pete will open, you'll go middle, Rob will headline. And I'm like, I freaked out about it. But we went out, and it was the first time we did 20 dates together, just the 3 of us, acoustic guitars, and I remember that we went to fill up the RV. And it was for the first time Rob looked at, wasn't used to this because my label's always financed everything. And he goes, I got this one. He started sharing in on the fuel and sharing in on all the hotels and everything. And I'd never had that experience. And it was so beautiful. So you went out with that band. They're signed to, that band's pretty happening, right? They got a lot going on.
Right now they've got a song on the radio. And
who's paying for the gas?
No, they were paying for their own gas.
Oh.
Exactly. So it was giving me woo.
We need to ride bicycles to the gigs because then we'll stay in shape and then, to be cost effective.
Yeah.
They have 4 Pelotons on the bus.
Those guys, they're called Anything But Human, by the way, if you want to go look them up. They have a song they did a remake of the Beatles' Eleanor Rigby.
That's risky.
And
they pulled it off.
And they pulled it off. Exactly,
Yeah.
and it's doing well.
Right.
And they just wanted some follow-up. The label wanted some follow-up songs, and I got the call.
And you were out for how many days?
12 days, wrote 2 songs, and
Great.
I got the next 2 songs with them.
Beautiful.
And I wrote one of them with the singer by the lake. We were sitting by the lake in Nashville, and he had come up with something the day before. And I sat down by the lake, and it started coming out, and I put it on social media.
Is that the title? Sat down by the lake?
No, I wish.
Well,
It's
your
called
literal
Evil
self.
Angels. But
Hey, there's a metaphor. All right.
exactly.
Yeah.
Evil Angels.
Yeah.
So I was like, wow, these guys are a rock band, and I can write from a darker place. And it was a lot of fun. And the singer saw that I posted that I was down by where are you? And he gets his ass down by the lake with me, and we finished the song together.
Amazing.
So,
And that feels good because collaborations can be pretty interesting.
Oh, it was, and it was new to me to do
Yeah.
that because Ben and I don't write like that. He gives me music, I run off and I write it and I bring it back.
So Ben has enabled you to not get into your guitar playing.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So I picked it up again.
Yeah. I refuse to do that. I know what I was talking about earlier with having Miles and a guy like Ben is that there's a security in it when we go out on stage. Do you resonate
yeah.
with you? Yeah. When you know you got that in your arsenal, it's like I've always been a 3-piece. Years and years ago, I had a guitar player named Jason Gonzalez here in Vegas, and he was a phenomenal guitar player. But having that there just gives me different level of wings or something, and we're very blessed to play with guys like Miles and Ben.
So talented.
Yeah.
Both-
And guys like Jack.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Police.
Yeah. Police.
Before we go, do you guys want to play one more? Or?
Could we talk about Reckless in Vegas?
Please.
Ante Up.
Yes.
So one thing that I, when I first came back to Vegas, was I hooked up with Mark Chinook over at Monday's Dark. Do we have a couple minutes? What's the time?
go
okay.
ahead.
Okay. Should I talk really fast?
No, you're
Okay.
fine.
All right, then. I'll talk like this. And Mark was very inspiring. We talk about inspiring one another. In his Monday's Dark thing, raising $10,000 for a charity in one night, I was blown away by that. And early on in my recovery journey, I started to volunteer. I volunteered 3 days a week at a detox center and 2 days a week at a food pantry. And I never even thought about volunteering.
Bro.
It changed my life, man. I was 40 hours a week for the first year, and it was a foundation because there are so many wonderful charities and causes that need volunteers to help. And that's one end of it, right? Being in person and helping. But then the other end is the financial side of it. And I was so moved by his program and what he was doing with music. So right away, we decided that every ticketed show that we're going to do, we're going to donate 50% of the proceeds. And what I would do is I would write the check at the end of the night. We were doing different charities, kind of like Monday's Dark does. Then I got introduced to Christina Vela over at St. Jude's Ranch for Children out in Boulder City, right? And that cause really resonated with me. So I made that my sole focus. As far as every show we did, we would donate money to them. Then I got the idea to use sponsors. Rather than us write the check, we would bring in 2 or 3 sponsors. They would commit to $2 or $3 per ticket. I think your brother did the first one, right? Dr. Jeffrey Roth, Jack's brother, is an incredible plastic surgeon in town. He did it, Boyd did it, and Accurate Building Maintenance did it. And that gave me the idea of how that can work. So that night at Aliante, I think $9 a ticket went to St. Jude's Ranch for Children. Amazing. And we continue to do that. So now that we're in residency at Sahara, we're doing the same thing. And so for the month of July, it's called Reckless in Vegas's Ante Up Collective. And for the month of July, we have Accurate Building Maintenance is committed to $3 a ticket for the entire month, and that money goes to St. Jude's Ranch for Children. Now, we also support Notoriety Gives as well, which is Ken Henderson down
Ken,
there.
he's a great guy. Ken is awesome.
Awesome. And I got to actually be the first teacher. I taught those 6 kids for 6 weeks how to play guitar, which was wild, man. It was such a great experience. But there were so many opportunities in town to give back. And this is a huge thing for us. So we're looking for more sponsors that will agree to commit to $3 a ticket for an entire month. July's covered. We're looking for August and September and on and on. So, but it's to play music on stage. We talked about the high of it. It's the greatest thing ever.
Of course.
To know that when you're singing a note that money is going to charity while you're doing it is pretty amazing.
That's awesome.
And local. That's our only requirement. It doesn't have to be St. Jude's Ranch for Children or Notoriety Gives, but our requirement is that it is a local business and a local charity.
That's great. Good for
yeah.
you. I heard you say that the other night, and I just applaud you on it.
Thank you.
But because it's what did he say when you talk about it? It's like actions speak louder than words,
Yeah.
kind of thing, and you're actually doing that. And the fact that you went out and put in those hours to help other people as well.
So
and that's where I
important.
discovered those kinds of things. For me, it's this kind of thing. It's getting inspired and trying to inspire others out there with the people I know.
Yeah.
And if I can reach them I'm from Salem, Oregon, and here I am sitting here doing my own podcast. I stand on a stage getting to live the life that I love so much. To know that, I was 10, 11, 12 years old going, that was just a dream, watching my dad do it going, oh, well, that's really cool. But my dad wasn't doing it nearly the level that I get to do this for a living. So
you've climbed, man, and you've
exactly,
done it.
but those are the things that we remember as we're walking into the next day, that it's not just us. We got to leave something behind. And there's the generations, and there's people that don't have it as good as we do.
Yeah, it's more challenging in this time, and but being kind to people, smiles are contagious. Taking a moment to just, when you say how are you, to really care about that answer, as opposed to just a little a pleasantry or whatever. And anybody can get on the journey. They can get on the path, and they can. If they're struggling, there's a solution. Yeah, the work can be hard. It's a tough deal, but you get to the other side, and every experience, good and bad and in between, is actually an opportunity to transcend.
Straight up. Wow. Well done. Well said. Well said, dude.
The problem is you don't realize that until later in the game.
Yeah,
That's the problem.
exactly.
And we've met guys that if they would have learned that in their early 20s, mid-20s,
they'd be
probably
dead.
two sitting on the side of the things would be a lot easier. You don't learn that stuff until later, and that's the problem. Youth is wasted on the young. It's that whole thing. And the thing with the charity, I'd never seen anyone do that, and it's such a beautiful gesture, and it means so much to so many people. That's another one of those things when you're, and you tour, getting in vans and touring and playing bars and stuff. You don't think about charities and kids and all that stuff, and
what were you thinking about, Jack? What were you thinking about?
Right, 10 things and they were all bad.
Goils. They were goils. All about the goils.
Yeah.
But that's one of those things that I think you learn with maturity, that stuff matters. And doing that stuff has opened the doors for us to meet folks that really can make things happen and really make things matter, rather than just go back in the van and that kind of stuff. It's amazing how it really does come back 100-fold when you do things like that. For sure, there's no question. So kudos to Mike for
well done,
getting
dude.
that together. No, for sure.
And the chief nerd back there, he's a young guy, so he soaks in all these things too. So it's not being wasted.
You're listening, right?
What? No, I'm joking.
You woke him up.
What? I was playing a video game. Well, play us out. Let's get one more song in, and then we'll wrap this up. But this was inspiring to me to have you guys here today.
It's been great, man. Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
I knew I loved you, man.
I love you too.
There's a part of me that wants to terrorize everything, and I can't deny it, that there's something tempting me. I close my eyes, but I still see everything. I'll just pretend nothing matters. Well, what to do I keep it all inside? Who's to say what to say? I think I'll say it anyway. Where I go, how I get there, I don't know. Still there's one thing I know, I'll never lose hope. I'll never lose hope. So is everyone going in such a hurry? You should stop and smell the roses. Something wrong here? Should I be worried? Well, I couldn't help but notice all the long faces in the wrong places. Am I making this up myself? I'll just pretend. Does it matter? Well, what to do I do? Do I keep it all inside? Who's to say what to say? Think I'll say it anyway. Where I go, how I get there, I don't know. Still save me. Somebody save me. We all fall down eventually. It's inevitable. Shit's all around. Can try to avoid it, but it's not always allowed. And if you're up to your neck in it, don't worry, 'cause it's only for a while. Just pretend, doesn't matter. Well, what to do? Do I do? Do I keep it all inside? Who's to say what to say? Think I'll say it anyway. Where I go and I go, how I get there I don't know. Still there's one thing I know. What to do? Do I do? Do I keep it all inside? Who's to say what to say? Think I'll say it anyway. Where I go and I go, how I get there I don't know. Still there's one thing I know, I will never lose hope. Woo! Yeah. A song about hope for you.
Yeah, man. I was like sitting there thinking, these are perfect songs for this show. Thank you.
Yeah, man.
So the show, Reckless in Vegas, runs
Thursday and Friday nights, 8:30. Tickets you can get Ticketmaster. If you're looking for a discount, go to vegas.com. You can go directly to our website, recklessinvegas.com. Information on the site about Annie Up. Anybody looking to maybe chip in and be a sponsor for a month, you can get a hold of me there. And yeah, come to Sahara and check out the show. You've never seen Jimi Hendrix mashed up with Mr. Bojangles, or A Whole Lot of Love mashed up with Boots Are Made for Walking. I mean, it's trippy. It's
you got
fun.
backup singers,
Dancers.
you have dancers,
Yeah.
you've got this guy on
This
stage
guy.
with you.
Chris Nichols on bass. Chris,
That guy is funny.
I played with Chris since 1998. In fact, he was on the album that Tom Fletcher produced for us.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, a band called Trip. Yeah, so we've known Chris a long time too.
So you've known Tom for a long time too.
Yeah,
like really long time.
over 20 years. You know, and
That's
it's-
crazy.
Yeah,
I met Tom 10 years ago, and he said, I want to do a record with you. And
he's smart. He saw your talent. Said, "I got to do a
Thanks,
record with
man.
you."
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
man.
the opportunity, it presented itself, and here we are, you know.
Well, I think then that's part of how you and I met too, in a roundabout way too.
I think so.
Yeah, I mean, I actually met you, Keith. I think it was a composer showcase that you and Ben had done.
You were there?
Yeah,
I had
yeah.
no... Dude, I met Vinny or Vincent
Vincent
John,
yeah.
was sitting behind me at a table, and I'd heard about him, and I didn't know you were there.
Yeah, well, you know, I fly under the radar.
Wow.
Yeah, it's an old mob thing, you know. Keep a low profile.
No, but see, like I said, your name was flying around, and I actually had the chance to, you know, put a face in the name, and all your friends and everybody that came out, and it was an incredible night. I had a great time, and then we talked, and you weren't just somebody throwing me, you know, verbiage,
connection.
and you actually said, hey man, I would love to do the podcast. And I said, are you serious? Like, I'd love to have you. And you called me when I got back. You said, hey,
I put it on my
back.
calendar because it's
Let's
important
do
to
it.
me, man. You're important to me.
thank you. It
Yeah,
meant
buddy.
a lot. And that shows with everything I learned about you today, man. Thank you so much. And so I got Jack Roth right here, everybody.
Rothstein.
You know? Michael Shapiro.
Good to be here with you.
Reckless in Vegas, many miles away, and just Michael Shapiro,
Yeah,
period, you know. Thank you guys so much for being here. Chief Nerd, Travis.
Travis.
The most handsome person in this podcast.
Exactly.
Super handsome.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we agreed on that.
We agreed on that. Thank you so much. Again, shout out to SMP Inc., a Las Vegas company. Thank you for sponsoring this episode. My name is Bryan Hopkins. This is a Hero's Journey podcast, and I hope that whatever we talked about just a little bit today might help you cross that line into that world of a new adventure, and know that today can be the day that you can start whatever you want to do. All right. So thank you again. Tell your friends. Go subscribe. YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Am I missing something?
What about the tree
Trav?
quote? The tree quote. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now.
Oh, I love that.
That's
dude.
what you just said, right? Oh,
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. Continue on, boys.
No, that's awesome. Did I miss anything, Trav?
No, I think you got it all.
Awesome. Well,
Fantastic.
thank you again. It's a Hero's Journey podcast with Bryan Hopkins.
believe it's coming around to me.